What's up, peoples? Let's see if this works. Hey, to drink slot? No, this is not gonna work. This is too fucked up. I don't think I can vlog and drive. I would like to vlog and drive because that's where I can do most of my thinking. I might upload. This might be fun. I gotta look here. I keep forgetting. Actually, I have to look here. No, well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that was going on with Vine ending. It really got to me. I keep looking at myself. It really got to me, and I was trying to explain it to my wife because I was a little depressed, you know, and in my opinion, for good reason. There's not really much you can do. And she couldn't really relate to that. And I kept on trying to figure out a way of explaining it. And just explaining it as it was didn't seem to make her feel like the connection, you know? And so I finally, I thought about it, and I was kind of like, okay, well, imagine like the Harry Potter books, you know? You get so invested in these characters that you're reading, but once the original author ends publication, all you've got is rewatching our Vines, or fanfic, you know, stuff other places, and the thing is that really all these other places that do, that do other books in the same series that you do. For example, like Ari Salvatore, he does Dungeons and Dragons. He does the people are gonna be pissed at me. My nerd friends are gonna be pissed at me. Dritz Durden, Drow, whatever. That character has a bunch of books in the Dungeons and Dragons mythos, and it's actually a specific mythos. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But imagine if somebody else wrote it, and I think he's partnered up with some other characters, and some other actors, and some other actors. I'm gonna say authors. Some other authors have actually written books in the same series, you know, Forgotten Realms. But I find it's more like the Star Trek series in Next Generation. Any of the Star Trek books that are written, they're kind of standalone. They're not normally in sequence, and they take place between different time periods, and they're a lot of times written by different authors. Now, there are some authors that write in the... Just a red light that turned... left turn yield, and it was green, and this car was coming forward, so obviously I couldn't turn, and it slowed down, it turned yellow and red. I was like, fuck it. But different authors writing about your stuff, but it's still in the same vein, but it's not quite the same. That's what Instagram and Flipagram and all these others are. It's the same thing, but not. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel the same. Coob and all this other stuff. And I think she said it was like book fatigue or series fatigue, something like that. And that kind of got her to understanding what Vine really was. It was my favorite book series, you know, with all these lovely characters that I've grown over the last year and a half or so to love and befriend myself. And now the original author is no longer producing books in the series. So, and like I said, that was a way of getting her to understand how I felt, because she was, like I said, really big into the Harry Potter books, and Unfortunately, Vine's not going to pop up and say, hey, we're going to open up Vine again for another book. But it's not going to be quite like that. I guess maybe that is what Twitter is. Anyway. But that's what I wanted to say. It's like some people can't quite understand. If you can't explain or understand, if you have a fellow Viner in your family or a friend or something, and they're pretty depressed about it, realize that might be it. That could be a reason. Just thought it might be something for everybody to think about. It's, it's not like you've lost those characters. They're always in your head, and you can read fanfic about them. You could write stuff about them yourself, and their adventures could continue. But it's not the same, and you're not going to see another book come out. So it's like that story's over, but the story still continues, just not the way you expected. Right now, people are still finding their legs, still finding the places to go, places of communication where they can also put out the content that they want, but also be able to communicate with the people or just gain more followers and figure out a different style format. Because, I guess all of my favorite books were in paperback, and now I'm working with hardback, or vice versa, So, but anyway, I thought that would be something to explain and maybe see if that kind of makes any sense to my fellow Viners, my YouTube channel, and my Facebook page, and just anybody who happens to listen to this or read this. That's kind of how I feel about Vine ending and everything. There's so much more to it, but that's more getting into specifics. I think like the simplest way of explaining it would be that, and maybe somebody else has a better idea of how to explain it. But that's how it is for me, and I really miss Vine and being able to post. And it's only been this is like day 2. Actually, it's like day and a half, because it was like noon yesterday, and it's like 5 p.m. now. So, but anyway, but I'm gonna upload this today, so it's the 18th, and hopefully people will watch and give me some feedback. And of course, this is me, Sir Drinks a Lot, with On the Road with the Wolf, or I guess this might be a Dlog, haven't decided, but I'll put it up. Wishing you health, wealth, and love, and as much gusto and time to enjoy it all. So, bye guys.